for 23 years, the National Action Network. It's about the action. And this has been framed by the president as a year of action. And he has been the action president. No president in the last 50 years has shown more action around protecting the rights of ordinary citizens and the civil rights of people denied than our action president, Barack Obama. I'm not talking about style, I'm not talking about rhetoric, I'm not talking about who would high-five us, I'm talking about action. I'm talking about affordable health care with action. I'm talking about private sector jobs every month with action. I'm talking about equal pay for women. Lily Ledbetter was action. This man didn't talk. He didn't play us cheap. He brought us action. And that is why I'm proud to bring you at the National Action Network, the action president, the chief It is wonderful to be with all of you. I want to say, first of all, thank you to your leader, Reverend Al Sharpton. Give him a big round of applause. And I appreciate the idea of being an action president, although I do also have style. I just want to point that out. I know it's not about it, but I do have it. Al's not the only guy with style. We've got Barbara Arnwine here today, and we want to thank her. Cleo LeBrown, thank you. Melanie Campbell, thank you. Mark Muriel, thank you. We've got members of Congress, state and local officials from New York. And of course, we've got all of you. So thanks to all of you for such a wonderful welcome. Everybody sit down. Sit down. Al doesn't know how to get back to his seat. Somebody help out. But don't make him jump over it. Okay, they're going to explain it. There we go. All right, you're going to be all right. Now, the last time I was here was 3 years ago, and a few things have changed since then. I am here as a second-term president. I have more gray hair. It's all right. Let's see what else. I've got twice as many dogs. I'm glad I won't have to serve a third term, because 3 dogs is too many. I can't keep on promising Glenn Session another dog. Of course, one thing that has not changed is your commitment to the cause of civil rights for everybody, an opportunity for all people. And that's been something that's been on my mind this week. Some of you may know that yesterday I was down in Austin, Texas at the LBJ Library to speak on the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act and the man who signed into law. And standing there, I thought of all the Americans, known and unknown, who made it possible for me to stand in that spot, who marched and organized and sat in and stood up for jobs,
and for justice. And I thought of all who achieved that great victory and others, not just with respect to the Civil Rights Act, but the Voting Rights Act, and the Fair Housing Act, and immigration reform, and Medicare, and Medicaid, and the first battles of a long war on poverty. Over the past 5 years, in the wake of the worst economic crisis of our lifetimes, we've won some victories too. Nearly 9 million new jobs in America's businesses over the past 4 years. 7.5 million Americans signing up to buy health care coverage under the Affordable Care Act. And millions more who gained coverage through Medicaid and CHIP, and young people being able to stay on their parents' plans. The rate of uninsured Americans is down. High school dropout rates are down. Our high school graduation rate is the highest on record. More young people are earning college degrees than ever before. We've made progress and we've taken action. But we also know our work is unfinished. Too many Americans working harder than ever just to get by. Too many Americans who aren't working at all. We know we have to do more to restore America's promise of opportunity for all people, particularly for communities hardest hit by the recession, particularly for those who struggled since long before the recession. Not only African Americans and Latinos, but Americans trapped across the country in pockets of poverty, inner city, suburban, rural. And we know what opportunity means. Opportunity means more good jobs that pay good wages. Opportunity means training folks for those jobs. Opportunity means changing the odds for all of our children through pre-K, something Mayor de Blasio's fighting for here in New York City. And opportunity means affordable higher education for all who are willing to work for it. Opportunity means answering the call to be my brother's keeper and helping more boys and young men of color stay on track and reach their full potential. Before I came out, I was in photo line, saw my good friend Freddie Haynes, a great pastor from the great state of Texas, and he told me this summer they're going to hire 100 young men paying $10.10 an hour, maybe $10.50. As a consequence of this call, and the point is that my brother's keeper, that's not just something I do, that's not just something the government does, that's something everybody can participate in. Because we know these young men need support. Opportunity means making the minimum wage a wage you can live on. It means equal pay for equal work. It means overtime pay for workers who earn it. It means continuing to extend the right of quality, affordable health care for every American in every state, because we've got some states that aren't doing the right thing. We have states who, just out of political spite, are leaving millions of people uninsured that could be getting health insurance right now. No good reason for it. If you ask them what's the explanation, they can't really tell you. And by the way, making sure our citizens have the opportunity to lead healthy lives also means dealing with things like the dangerous carbon pollution that's disproportionately affecting low-income communities. It means making sure that our young people are eating right, so listen to Michelle. I'm just saying. So we know we've got more work to do to bridge the gap between our founding ideals and the realities of our time. And the question then becomes, well, how do we actually make these changes? How does it happen? How do we get a minimum wage bill passed? How do we make sure that those states that aren't yet implementing the Affordable Care Act actually are doing right by their citizens? It means being vigilant. We've got to be vigilant to secure the gains we've made, but also to make more gains in the future. And And that's the meaning of these last 50 years since the Civil Rights Act was passed. Because across the country, right now, there are well-organized and well-funded efforts to undo these gains. And one of those gains is under particular assault right now, and that's what I want to spend the rest of my time here talking about. Just as inequality feeds on injustice, opportunity requires justice, and justice requires the right to vote.